Hi, I'm Alicia Leggett.
And I'm Megan Shane, and we're going to share a little bit about our motherhood journeys and our experiences with you.
Yeah, for me, Mother's Day has always been a very complex holiday as I think about my story of infertility and pregnancy loss. My husband Kyle and I, we got married and set off to make a bunch of babies and found out that it took way longer than we ever imagined. We went through many years of interventions and IVF and had many negative results along the way and lost many babies way too soon before we found success. And we had to continue through treatment to pursue growing our family. So one of the most recent tragedies that I went through was this past Mother's Day, actually, right before, almost halfway through the pregnancy, lost our son. And I remember showing up in the public room the morning after my appointment with tears in my eyes and hardly able to see. And the women in that room just surrounded me with love and prayer and just wept along with me as I wept. And there was so much comfort in that and so much power that God provided and showed his love to me at a time when I couldn't really understand how God could provide that comfort. And I think he did it through the body of the church because in so many different ways at that time, we were shown love and support from different members. In our neighborhood group, the same thing happened. We occupied the entire neighborhood group with tears, and they prayed and sang over us, and it was just so meaningful. And so in 2019, God actually used my story to help other women going through infertility. And since that story has been built upon with further chapters of grief, I've been able to relate to women and couples dealing with pregnancy loss and ongoing trials to grow their family by offering support groups to people that I see who are marginalized and isolated and struggling relationally in their marriages and just really grieving and needing a comfortable place to feel loved and heard.
A couple of years ago, Todd came and told me that Alicia was holding these support groups for those going through infertility, and simultaneously, I had been holding support groups for new moms who were in the postpartum stage of life and continuing parenting support in the community as a way to help bring them together and help them to share stories and find solidarity at the start of their motherhood journey. My personal experience with motherhood, the very beginning, 15 years ago, was that you can have a joy-filled moment of the birth of your child, and it can be coinciding with a very overwhelming traumatic experience. And my oldest, who's now 15, was born 34 weeks, and he was 3 pounds 4 ounces at birth and was quickly declared a NICU baby. And we had to start our parenting journey as NICU parents, which was absolutely not something that I had initially been prepared to think of as a part of a parenting experience. We started working together to provide more groups in the community, and just this past year, a couple months ago, we founded an organization called Connected Nest that is a nonprofit organization that targets those on the journey to and through parenthood and providing community support for them. So out of our overwhelming and not initially seen as very positive experiences, we've both learned that it's wonderful to be able to make space for those to give them that support and to be able to try and find ways to bring community together for solidarity. So this Mother's Day, we want to create a space for recognizing that there's a lot of complexities around motherhood and the journey to it, and how overwhelming it might be for some women who want to be able to hold their babies and they're not able to, who are grieving the loss of a pregnancy or the opportunity to get pregnant. And we want to be able to encourage them and encourage you, if you know someone who is going through that experience, to be able to speak in life and speak hope into their day-to-day life too.